Coach Lunga, thank you very much for your time, my brother. How are you doing?
Thanks very well. Let me take the opportunity to greet all the followers of Football Stage and say thanks for the opportunity that I've received today.
Coach, let me first congratulate you on what you did in Cape Town. I saw a video clip. People were at the How was the tournament in terms of how your boys played and in terms of standard? Because you always want to compare. You based in Johannesburg, you play in the GDL. Whenever you go out to places like Cape Town, you want to compare in terms of standard. How did you see it, and what was your overall assessment?
I think first of all, the tournament in Cape Town, it was the 4th year going there, and it's a tournament that you always use as a succession plan, because if you check, we always go with under 12, under 14, under 16, which is the teams that we prepare for next season. And to be honest, the standard, yes, there are some of the teams that I feel they didn't challenge us a lot, but when we went to the knockout stages, that's when we saw a little bit of challenge from the opponents, and also that's when we saw also the quality of the boys that we have. Because when you win the group stages, you win the 10, you win 11, then it's easy for you to be fooled, by the score. But when you went to the knockout stages, especially the game that we played against Kapstad, the semi-finals, it's a game that also showed me the character of the boys, number one, because we came back from 2-0, where we had to take them to the penalties, then we had to equalize, and then we went to 2-2, then we went to the penalties, and we won with the penalties. But the overall of that game, it was first, yes, technically, to be honest, the boys, they were on top of them, were better compared to all the teams that are there, because playing with the teams from Cape Town, that they always play under the wind and then they play long balls, it was not difficult for them. But with us, we went with the one mentality to say it's a preparation, but also it's about us to making sure that we play our normal game, we play our normal football, and that's what the boys, they did. They didn't look down, but they kept on fighting. And up until we went to the game against Cape Town Spurs, to be honest, I was expecting it to be a game that was gonna challenge us. But mind you, we created more chances compared to them. We dominated the game right from the first whistle until the last whistle, and we managed to win that game. But I feel if we were playing the minutes that we play in the GDL, it was going to be something else, because the intensity, the nice thing with us is that the intensity that we get in GDL, then it helps us in such a tournament when you go to the tournaments, because when you play 20 minutes, it's not a lot, but we are able to control the intensity of the game, and that is what the boys, they did, as I said, against the Cape Town Spurs, as one of their best team that is always winning that side. But when they played against us, we showed the level of our football here in Joburg, in Gauteng Development League, because we could dominate in all the departments, from defense, went to the middle, even up front, we were able to dominate, and they couldn't even keep with our intensity, to be honest. We were able to dominate them, we were able to make sure that each and every ball that we get, we used it wisely, we used it effectively, and them, it was tough for them even to play. And that's what I took from the Cape Town tournament, to say both on and off the ball, then the boys, they did very well. Their intensity to regain the ball, intensity to go forward when we have the ball, it was very, very good. And it's a tournament, to be honest, that really, really helps us to prepare for the next season, 2025 GDL league.
That speaks volumes about the standard of the GDL. But before we go there, Coach, I want Mamelodi Sundowns. I'm trying to look this year. You obviously played the GDL top 8. You played the GDL Emma League games.
Yes.
There's also a GDL Cup that's going to come that you're going to play. Some of your boys have been involved in the K-Motsepe Schools Championship. Some of the boys, as we speak now, were part of the KF Schools team that is currently in Namibia. You've played the FC Kapstad, you play Bay Hill, you play Engine. There is a lot of games for different divisions within the Mamelodi Sundowns Academy. How important that these boys play so much game week in, week out, high-level games, high-intensity games?
I think for us, what is important, especially with the lot of games that we are playing, because the study, if you check the study, the FIFA study, when it comes to South African football, we are way behind when it comes to the minutes. That's why us as Mamelodi Sundowns, we try to put the minutes in the legs of our boys by all means. That's why whenever there's opportunities to play the tournaments, then we always want to participate in those tournaments, because number one, if boys they get more minutes, then it's easy even for them to develop and go to the next level. And as you can check, one of the the school tournaments, they are also helping us a lot, because when you go to the school tournaments, you meet different teams, you meet different approaches from the different teams, and that also helps us as coaches, not only as players, because when you play with different teams that you don't know, that you never saw, and then it also says you must be able to adapt and adjust within the game as a coach, and it's something that is helping us. When we go to Kemotsipe, you play with teams that obviously when they come, they think about, okay, these are the Sundowns boys, and then this is the approach, and then we need to adjust to that. You go to the Bay Hill, you play less minutes. You play to Kapstadt, you play less minutes. Now it's about the reaction of the boys to say, if we play 20 minutes, we play 25 minutes, then it's a different ball style already, because we used to play at 45 minutes, for example, in the under 19. In under 13, we used to play on 30 minutes. Then you go to the tournaments, you play 20 minutes. Then it's about how the boys push themselves and how as a coach you push the boys, and it's very, very important for us. And to be honest, this year we have played a lot of games compared to the other years. When I count the games, even from the preseason, and then you put all the games together, we are sitting almost on 48 games. And we still have the games that we still need to play, the GDL Cup. We still are going to the tournaments. Now under 13, they need to prepare for the Saudi Arabia team. That also talks about the friendly games, that from the GDL you go to the friendly games, because now when you go to Saudi, it's we are going with the under 13, but it's an under 14 tournament. That also shows you to say, as Mamelodi Sundowns, we're also not looking only at the age, but us competing on the under 14 international tournament with the under 13 players. Then it also talks about the quality that we have, that we believe in it. That's why we want to expose them. Then it will be a lot of games, and I'm sure when other teams they close in December, us will still be busy with the program in Saudi. And as I said, we're trying to close that gap from the FIFA report to say South African football, they are behind when it comes to the minutes. And that's our plan, to make sure that each and every boy, even when they go and they move to the higher level, and then at least they understand and they can adapt to the standard. As you check with our Mamelodi Sundowns first team, that's the life that they have. It's Champions League, it's AFL, it's a league, it's cups. Then they don't have rest, and it's good for us to introduce these boys in that stress while they're still young, so that when they go up, then it becomes easy for them. As we check now, we have Mali, who has been with us from the age of 12. He's with the first team, but because of the games that we play, I don't think he's gonna struggle for on the numbers of games that he's gonna play.
Coach, a lot of games, many tournaments being played. It also speaks to the depth of the team, because as we speak, you have 9 players in the CAF Schools tournament out in Namibia. Yet you are able to field a team here, under 15 team that is competitive, that is chasing a league title. With all the games you are playing, your under 13s involved in the Kemotsipe, they are still challenging for the league. Same with under 17, same with under 19s. In terms of that depth, how do you manage it to ensure that as much as you play these many games, as much as these boys have there's injuries, there's suspensions, there's also maybe a focus on school at times where they have to focus on exams, but at all those times you are able to put a team that is strong enough to compete?
I think we are also blessed to have this kind of talent and players that we have, and also it's just to give a credit to the sports scientists that we have also, that are making sure that with all the load that the boys they get, and then they do the good job behind the scenes, especially when it comes to recovery, because recovery is very, very important. You know, if you can check, for example, we went to Cape Town, we were back on Wednesday, Thursday we had to train, Friday, and then we played the game today and tomorrow. Then it talks also about the recovery. That is very, very important, you know, and the depth that we have, to be honestly, as I said, we also don't look at the age. We look at the boys that can compete on the under 15. You know, then it's easy to move a boy from under 13 and then we take him to under 15, from under 15 to under 17. And that's something that also builds the boys, especially the confidence, to show to them that they must not only think that when they are the under 13 players, then they must only focus on the under 13. They can still compete on the under 15. Because if you can check, there are some of the boys in the under 13 that we feel it's easy for them in the under 13. Yes, they are 13, but it's easy. Then we need to challenge them. The same under 15, we need to challenge them. Then all our divisions, we always make sure that we challenge them for them to be even more better. Because the more challenge and then the more development it will happen in the boys. But if we sit and then we say, no, it's easy for them, then we're only thinking about winning games, then the coach is going to benefit, but the boys are not going to benefit. But and at the end of the day, the development is not for the coach, it's for the boys. You know, us as the coaches is to make sure that we nurture this development proper and then it grows accordingly. And with all the games that you are playing, to be honestly, as I said, our sports scientists, the coaches, we are doing so well behind the scenes to make sure that the boys, they recover. As you see now, it was a very intensity game today. Then tomorrow we go into another game again against TS Galaxy, which is going to be intense. Then it's about us to go and sit down and say, okay, how do we prepare the boys tomorrow? Preparation is very important before the game. That's very, very something that is very important to us to say, how do we prepare for the next game and how do we make sure that the boys are ready for the next game? That's something that we do as Mamelodi Sundowns.
Coach, you've spoken about the integration between age groups and ensuring that what is done in the first team is replicated within the youth structures. Now, in terms of winning, we know Mamelodi Sundowns has a culture of winning at all times. But at the other development side, it's more about nurturing these talents, not so much focus on winning. How much pressure do you have as coaches to ensure that as much as you focus on your primary goal, which is to nurture these boys and make sure that they grow up to be ready for the first team, but at the same time, you are able to win and keep up with the culture of the Mamelodi Sundowns?
To be honestly, let me take also to comment with the leadership of the academy. We don't have a pressure, especially on the youth academy, because something that we always preach when it comes to the development is that if we do a good job with the boys and then we nurture them accordingly, then the results will come automatically. You know, then if we don't get the development correct and then we want to focus on winning, then it's going to be difficult to get the results because of the foundation. It's not proper. You know, it's like when you want to build a mall, first you need to identify the potential and make sure that you develop the mall on that, so that when everyone see the mall, they won't look at it was a land. They will say, hey, there's a mall. But as we say, before we look at the mall, let's look at first the land and see how we develop the land. Then the mall will come after. Then that is what we are doing at Mamelodi Sundowns, to say, first we need to drill the development in them. We need to make sure that we nurture them. And with us in Mamelodi Sundowns, a team comes after. First, it's an individual. We train individuals, and then the team, then it will come after. We're not training the team first before we can do the individuals, because if you focus on the team, then you lose some of the individual players that are very good, and then you end up not even seeing the potential that they have. You end up not even seeing that this boy is good in 1, 2, 3, because you are focusing on the team. But us, our culture is to focus on the development, and obviously, as I said, once we get it right, then yes, to be honest, when the first team is doing well, then people, they'll look at down and say, let's see also the development, what's happening in the development, you know. But as I said, it's not a pressure per se, but it's for us to focus on making sure that we nurture it accordingly, and then results will come. As we can see, the way the league it is now, the GDL league it is because of the job that you are doing behind. And you won't believe when I say, especially on the under 13s, under 15s, it's rare where we'll play the 11v11s, because 11v11s, now we're talking about the team, but it's more about small-sided games. It's more about the pairs, the group, and to make sure that they understand each other, they are able to work together as pairs, as a group. Then when you transfer it to the game, then it becomes easy. That's why we believe more on keeping the ball, because the more you touches on the ball, the more development. That's what we are doing as Mamelodi Sundowns.
Coach, on a personal note, you've lifted the Under-17 Randburg Cup, you've lifted the Gauteng K-Motsepe Cup, you've lifted the National K-Motsepe Cup, and you've lifted FC Cup start. It's been a good year for you personally. I know it's all the work of the team. It's all about nurturing the boys, but I'm sure you are happy with you just as a coach personally of what you've achieved so far.
Yeah, to be honest, for me personally, I'm so happy with all the achievement that we got this year. But I still feel that there's always a room for improvement. There's a lot that we still need to fight for. And whatever that I've achieved, also it goes to the colleagues that are supporting me, because for example, getting a coach of the tournament in the National K-Motsepe, I also told my guys to say, if it was not you guys, I don't think I was going to get this, because football is not a one-man show. The same way we say it's a team sport, it's the same thing when it comes to the coaches, and the coaches that were there with me, that supported me, even those that couldn't come to support in the K-Motsepe Nationals because of the other commitments that they had. But we kept on communicating, and as I said, we are the family as coaches. Those who were not there, they were watching the games, they were able to give me calls to say, this is what we see, this is what we think you can do. And that achievement, it also goes to them, And as I said, again, personally, I thank Mamelodi Sundowns for giving me this a platform for me to grow within it, for me to make sure that I nurture my career as an individual, because at the end of the day, the same way we nurture the boys, we need to nurture ourselves also as coaches. And I'm still looking forward. There's still a lot that I still need to fight for. There's a league,
big title race.
Yeah, there's a league, there's a GDL Cup. But I think for me, to be honestly, if I can see myself going to the final in Saudi, then that will be the biggest one. That's what I'm also looking to achieve.
Last one, coach. If I look at the national youth tournaments this year, we'll start with the CAF schools. It was won by Gauteng, both girls and boys. Engine Champ of Champs is won by Kaizer Chiefs, yes, from Gauteng. TDS won by Gauteng. The team that is representing South Africa in Namibia right now is from Gauteng. And if you look, if you now go into the team, dive in and look, you'll see most of those boys come from GDL. What does it say about the standard of the GDL, and what do you think needs to be done in other provinces to sort of, bring up the standard to a level where when teams come to Gauteng or Gauteng goes to other provinces to compete, it's strength for strength?
Yeah, it's very, very positive, to see all the achievements, especially that comes to Gauteng. And to add on that, also the girls are coming from Gauteng, which is it's a GDWL. Yes. Then it also says Moses doing the good job, as someone who was there when the GDL was found. And to be honestly, when you look at the level of Gauteng and the other provinces, we are way, way, way ahead of all the provinces, to the point that when we play in Kapstad, most of the teams, they wish that they can be in the same setup like Gauteng. They wish that they can play with the same teams week in, week out, And I think the provinces outside, to be honest, I so wish that GDL can get a sponsorship, that we can have also the national league, that will have the teams from Gauteng competing with the teams from other provinces, so that they can see that the development that is happening in Gauteng, then it's also possible on their side, because the same thing that we do this side, they can also do on the other side. But also, again, it's all about the dedication. It's all about how they push themselves on the other side. Yes, I know in football there's a lot of politics, but it's nothing that has to stop us to make sure that we develop the boys. And that's why Gauteng will always dominate because of the GDL. GDL, I even call it's an elite academy league. For example, and that's why it's easy for us when you go outside, and then we are able to get the results. You look at the Engine Chiefs did very well, which is they were also representing us as the GDL league. You look at the girls also, they're coming from the GDL. the guys that went to Namibia, it's Gauteng. And it also says in Gauteng we are doing a lot of good things, and we must not undermine what we are doing. It's very, very important. And also, you know, the platforms like Football Stage, the platforms like the Instagrams and all that, they are also showing to the teams how competitive is this league in Gauteng. And that also gives us an opportunity, you know, to say, okay, if people they know about us, then when you go there, then we must always go prepared, because anything is possible, you know. And with Kapstad, you're playing against Stellenbosch, you're playing against Cape Town Spurs, and other teams like Hellenic. It's good, but as I said, I so wish that this thing can go to the National League, so that these boys can grow even more and more and more, because there we have seen a lot that our boys can give to us if they meet different you know, teams that can always bring a different style, can always bring a different personnel. You know, as we speak now, the guys in Namibia, it's about the height, it's about the physique, but because of the football intelligence that they have, because of the minutes that they have in the GDL, then it's easy for them to do well on the other side. And is what we are seeing when we see the results, we watch the games that they are playing in Namibia. And as I want to give thanks to Muzi for bringing such a good a league, you know, to make sure that Gauteng becomes the best. Yes, there's a lot of room for improvement, but as I said, I so wish that also the sponsors can come on board to make sure that this league becomes one of the best. You know, when you go to Barcelona, you go to Portugal, they have the big leagues. They you know, play weekend, they play during the week. They are under 19, they are under 13. When you are watching, it's like you are watching a senior team football, you know, and that's because of the sponsorship that is coming to support them. That is because of the love and from the parents, making sure that they support the program. And also our parents, they are trying to be honest in Gauteng, but as I said, we can still do more to make sure that this league becomes one of the best.
Coach, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. We're looking forward to the title race, and I'm sure we'll have a chat before you go to Saudi.
Thank you.